Hi everyone, welcome to a what sold video. I'm so glad to be back. I think it's been about 9 days since my last video. We just got home from the hospital Monday, so we've been here a few days now, and I'm finally feeling a little bit more like myself again. So I wanted to do a what sold video to show what sold across our three main platforms, Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay in the first month of the first week of September. So that's the 1st through the 7th. The 6th and the 7th, we were in the hospital, and the 8th. So I wasn't actually home for these, but I was running a sale for it. I think I called it like a baby day sale. And we made some sales from that. And I was still sending out offers in the hospital. And I like right after I got out of surgery, I was sitting there telling my husband, make sure you share to the Poshmark party and what is the Poshmark party for 5 o'clock supposed to be? And can you send these offers out? And he was like, what's wrong with you? You need to take a break. And then I also sent out a message to people on Monday, the day we were getting discharged, to let them know that it might be like an extra day, but that their items were coming. And some of them, I think one lady, she was like, I appreciate you telling me, but what are you doing? Get off of Poshmark and be with your baby. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a workaholic. But the numbers show that it was worth it to me at least. I was making money while I was sitting there having a baby. I mean, how awesome is that? All right, so let's start out with Mercari. Mercari, we made three sales that first week, which is awesome for Mercari. We started out with this American Eagle men's t-shirt. It sold for $15. Next was a three-item bundle, which is really cool because I don't think I've ever sold a bundle on Mercari, maybe once. So that was pretty awesome. The lady just added everything, and then I sent her an offer, and that have the item in it. So for $76 for everything, I gave her a pretty good deal. It was all Vermont Country Store and Carol items, and they were all new without tags. One was an extra large, the other 2X. It was a bed jacket and then two pajama sets. And lastly was this pair of LuLaRoe leggings. You guys might remember that I had just listed these, and I had mentioned before I don't usually really list LuLaRoe anymore. However, this was like tall and curvy, which is their plus size sizing. I think it's really more like an extra large, maybe a 1X, and it's a little bit longer length. So it's a little bit better than just their one size items. And it also had this all over dog spaniel print, and they sold for $12.75. So our total profit on Mercari was $74.02. That was definitely good in my book. Then we'll go to Poshmark. We sold a lot on Poshmark. I feel like I can't remember if I did a waterfall sale or not. I must have because some of these are lower prices. I was also just kind of accepting offers like crazy so we could get some old inventory out. We sold this pair of Lucky Brand jeggings or legging jeans. They sold for 18. A pair of Hollister jeans sold for 11. I was really surprised on these because they weren't skinny. They were like I think maybe straight leg or something, but they were a bigger size, a junior's 19 or a size 34, which is an 18. Yeah, a size 18. And they were short and they were embroidered with like flowers that were really cute, kind of like a kid core 90s, maybe early Y2K style, but they'd sat for a while and they finally sold for just 11 bucks. American Eagle jeggings. These are the Dream Jeans Super High Rise. These have just really continued to surprise me. I bought like maybe about 5 pairs of these exact or similar style American Eagle jeans that were size 16s at Goodwill. And I just went in one day and I bought a bunch of these like for myself. I think it was like when I first got pregnant. And I was like, okay, these will be good for me now or like to grow into. And I just didn't love the way they fit, so I just decided to put them up here. And they've consistently been selling for like $20, $25. So it's something I'm going to keep my eye out for sure. Then this pair of Talbot's pants. These are something my mom gave to me I think like maybe 3, 4 years ago when I was teaching. I think when I was pregnant with my first son, actually. And so they were just like a very simple pair of athleisure pants and they sold for 14 bucks. A Vermont Country Store house coat. This was new, but it had some surface staining on it, and so I didn't price it quite as high as I normally would have because I had to wash it and the material pilled up quite a bit. I did mention that in the listing though, and it sold for $32. American Eagle mom shorts sold for 12. This lost me like I think 8 cents on it. It was definitely not a moneymaker. Something I had gotten out of the bin at Goodwill for like 213, and it only sold for $5. Simply Southern, I'm not buying anymore. A Vera Bradley purse, $11. Lucky Brand jeans, 13. An Eloquii dress, I've had this for a while. It's really pretty. It was a plus size, 25. Another Vera Bradley purse sold for 15. This cute dress with a little matching scrunchie sold for 9. A men's champion hoodie. This was brand new with tags and a 4XL tee, so I think that's definitely helped it sell. It sold for 27. I had this for a long time too, and I think I just recently relisted it, so I got some new eyes on it. This sold for 35, and I also just relisted this soft surroundings sweater. I got this at Goodwill for 5.55. It was wool and mohair blend, and it sold for $35. All right, that brings our total on Poshmark to $178.54 in profit. And then lastly, we will go to eBay. See, on eBay, we sold the really cool Y2K velour tracksuit. I got this at a church sale where everything was 50 cents a piece. So I paid $1 total for this and it sold for $105. This was sold on part of the 30% off baby day sale. Next, a pair of J. Jill pants. This also, I think, sold for that 30% off. They sold for $12.60. A new with tags Torrid t-shirt sold for 13. This bralette, which we've had up there for forever, I think that this was also a recent relist and it sold for $12. This is really showing me that delisting and relisting is working. So I might have mentioned it in one of my last videos, but I'm trying not to just throw a bunch of new inventory into our stores because we have a lot right now. Like I have both walls of our master bedroom and the walk-in closet. It's a small walk-in closet, but it's still a walk-in closet, just lined with our listed goods. And so obviously I have some more room now that I've made more room, but I don't want to just keep throwing new inventory in here if some of the really old inventory from like 2023 and 2024 has not sold yet. So I'm trying to go back to the very beginning, items from the beginning. And I'm trying to rework some of those, relist some of those, possibly rephotograph some of those if I think it's worth it, or pulling some of those items for consignment, just depending on what they are, if I think they'll still sell, etc. So that's good because some of these items that I'm showing here just got relisted and they're selling. So again, $12 for that. A new Talbot's skirt sold for 20. I think I could have gotten more for this if it was actually plus size. Talbot's has this weird size X, which is like, I think between an extra large and a 1X, not necessarily 0X. It's kind of like more of an extra large, but it's not. I don't know. It's really weird. So it's kind of hard for you to market that because do you call it plus size or not? And you can include the measurements, but it's just, I don't know if it's something people actually really search for. This really neat vintage dress. This was also a relist and it sold for $22. I had this up there for, I think, at least a year, probably about 2 years, maybe. A new pair of cargo shorts from Levi's. I had just listed these. I had these, I think I might have had these in my what I'm going to list video. They sold for 21. A V-neck Talbot's t-shirt my mom gave me to sell, $12.60. This is another item that came from that church sale. It was 2 pieces at 50 cents each, so I paid $1 and it sold for 14. And lastly, I don't even know where I got this. Maybe the bin at Goodwill. It was just a kind of no-name brand boutique shirt, and it was new with tags, but it sold for $8.40. I'm okay with that. And that leaves our profit for eBay at $166.36. So in total, in the first week of September, we made $418.92. That is incredible. That is the most that we've made. Let me get back to January and see if we've made that much. That's one for last year. More than we made in November. More than we made in any week in December. How crazy is that? More than January. So I'm guessing that's the most that we've made in a single week all this year. That is awesome. In no way do I think that that's going to happen again this week. Just being honest, that probably had a lot to do with it being Labor Day. We also had then the Labor Day sale and the Baby Day sale just 2 weeks apart. So that obviously was super big with sales. I have not listed anything since I've gotten home. And I've been home for 4 days. I've not listed anything. I haven't relisted anything. I'm come up here and taken items off that have been sold, and that's pretty much it. I don't even think I've cross posted maybe. I've just been taking care of baby and myself, and that's okay. That's the good thing about reselling is we're still making some sales, just not as many. We're not as active on the stores, so it's going to show algorithm and all that. I know that you guys have probably gotten the notice so far that Poshmark has changed their shipping policy. I'm very excited for that. Shipping is now going down to like six something instead of eight something, and we as sellers are getting free supplies to use for shipping, kind of like before with priority mail, but now it's going to be ground advantage. I'm also excited to see what those packaging options look like. I did place an order through email, so hopefully I will get them in a couple weeks if everything goes correctly. Just remember not to use any priority mail this day further, or they will start charging for it. So just be careful with that. But let me know how you guys feel about that new policy change. I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews about it on Facebook. So let me know what you guys think. But I hope your sales have gone well. And I've missed you guys, so I'm glad to be back. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.